kind of talking about the college tour. So what
Yeah.
brought y'all to University of Texas at Tyler?
Well, it's great to have the college here on campus at the University of Texas at Tyler. There's a lot of great reasons. I mean, it's an amazing institution. Being the first medical school in East Texas was a huge draw for the college tour to come here. But watching this enrollment starting to grow year after year, and this park-like campus it's a beautiful place to go to school, and there's a lot of amazing stories. And so we knew we had to tell it, and it's really great to be here.
What's one of the stories that kind of stuck in your mind that you're like, man, this is kind of meaningful?
I mean, there's a lot. We're gonna feature 10 different students, 10 different stories throughout the episode. But I think in general, the story of a student talking about the medical school and how that came together here at UT Tyler, and how it's providing a lot, not only for the institution, for the students, but for the community of Tyler, and how this institution is serving that community, and it's pretty impressive.
And so were y'all reached out by the university, or is this something y'all kind of like go by a list and go?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, it's a collaboration, in order to come here. I mean, obviously, we're talking, there's a lot of institutions across the country. Our producers are talking to the school here, and I always tell people there's a lot that goes into it, right? We wanted to make sure we could do this episode, but there's a lot of work. It's not like the college tour just shows up on campus and voila, there's an episode. We're working with the people at UT Tyler. This is 6 months to make an episode. Right? We produce this show like we'd produce any show in Los Angeles. We're casting real students. We're working with their students to bring their real authentic story to life. And so I always look at this as a co-production. It's, of course, the college tour, but we're working hand in hand with UT Tyler every step of the way to make sure we're telling the most authentic and great story to bring all the incredible things that are happening within this campus, to life.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
How long, we were talking a minute ago, and you said it takes about 6 months to do these.
Yeah.
So about how many campuses do you visit?
For the college tour? The college tour, we produce, around 50 episodes a year-ish. Yeah, and there's a lot. I always tell people, this whole idea came. My niece couldn't figure out where to go to college, and during that process of her not having the funds to travel to every college campus in America, and I think that issue and that problem is, what percentage of the population can go visit every campus they want to? And so we really wanted to create a show that you could really get a sense of what that campus is like, whether it's on your TV, mobile, watching on Amazon Prime, sitting with your family in front of the TV. Really want to be able to have, families be able to travel the country and explore what's out there. And and it's been an amazing ride. And I always say we're blessed to be in a country with so many incredible institutions. But I was also surprised, my background's travel shows. And so this is the first time for me I'm working in higher education. I was surprised at how, the percentage of students from high school that get a college degree. And I think us as a country, as a society, we need to lift those numbers up. What higher education is providing for our communities, for our states, for our country, it's incredible, right? And when you look at where society is heading, right, with the speed of machine learning and AI and all these things, we need an educated class. And, college is an amazing part of the journey of growing up. Where else and what other time in your life, excuse me, what other time in your life do you get to spend a few years meeting all these different people, hearing different ideas, having this playground of opportunities to explore what your passions and what your purpose may be in life? And I always tell people that there's no other time that you can do that, right? This is, you have so much at your fingertips when you're here at UT Tyler. Take full advantage of that. And so it's just an absolute blessing to be able to bring this story to life and share it with the world.
Perfect. And is this something that you're looking forward to, like, after you visit every university that y'all can imagine and think of? Is it something you go, what, let's revisit that university 15, 20 years down the road?
It's a great question. There's 3,500 plus institutions across the country, so that's a lot to get through. That being said, that's already happening. There's institutions from first few seasons that we're coming back to because there are so many changes that happened there, and we're coming back to help tell those stories again, right? So it's it's an amazing show, but I think even better, it's a resource. And I always say, I've spent my life in Hollywood creating really fun travel shows, but this is the first show. The college tour is the first thing I ever created. It was out of a real problem that I personally went through with my niece, and I think hopefully we are a service, not only to the institutions but to the communities and millions of families that are out there, international students. It's so let's be honest, it's expensive to go travel around and check things out, and so the ability for this show to bring it right into the living room around the world is pretty cool.
Awesome. And it's on, so here we'll kind of do like a plug here. It's on Amazon Prime, correct?
Yeah.
And is there a certain day, time slot, or is it kind of like?
Well, it's streaming, so that's a good part about it. What's our date that this is going? Do you know?
I don't think we have a date.
Okay, why don't I say a couple? Because here's the thing: we have 2 more months of post-ish, right? And so, and if you want, I'll talk about the distribution of it, and how because we call it a rolling launch because we're on so many different platforms now, and so. Does that sound good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait for not only the community of Tyler, Texas, but also the entire country to watch this episode. It's about 2 months of post-production that we'll be editing this episode, and then you'll be able to find it. I'm sure a bunch of resources through University of Texas at Tyler. Of course, the college tour will be on Amazon Prime. We'll be on Fox's Tubi, and just a number of other different ed tech companies and distribution platforms to get this word out as far and as possible.
Awesome. And since you've done a lot of work with CBS, any chance it might move over to Paramount or CBS?
We love our major partner, Amazon Prime. They've been very good to the college tour from day one, and so that's our primary big. But I do have a background working with CBS, which is and Paramount. So we'll see. We're honestly always in conversations with different distribution channels, and we have a very simple model. We want to tell the story of these amazing institutions across the country, show these options and availability, hopefully inspire the next generation to come here, and of course be on the platforms where people are watching, so they learn about it.